If you want it, you can grab it with your hands. Nothing's out of reach. If you really want something, if you need it, you can grab it with your hands. Nothing's out of reach. If you really want something.
Hello to all you wonderful people out there. Welcome to Jamaican Experience. My name is Gabi.
And it's Adi Chrissy, and today we'll be doing a mukbang where my mom tells me stories of her in Jamaica back in the day. So what will you be talking about today?
Today I will be telling you some more about my experience with the immigration, which wasn't so much fun at all. I could write a book about that, seriously. I also will tell you how I met a real drug lord.
This part,
Imagine.
I really want to hear this part. Like, really want to hear this. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I hope you're excited too, right? A big thank you to all the people who subscribe to our channel. Please keep it up, subscribe, like, share and comment below. Remember.
Yeah guys, if you're wondering, we have here some mashed potato, some string beans and some kind of a steak that I kind of brown stewed.
Not to forget the good Jamaican red stripe.
Yeah, my mom said it was a good occasion today, so we...
Yeah, because I saved this one here from Christmas. Can you imagine from Christmas also? It's my...
Yeah, mine is in here.
Yeah, I give her a bit also, but just because she's, you know...
I'm a good girl.
I share. Yeah, right, you're lucky. So,
Okay,
let's just see some of your food before I start talking, eh?
Alright, mommy, tell me how it go. It's
Oh
nice
God,
and
it's
soft.
delicious. I mean, me and the immigration also, I don't know if they don't like my big nose obviously here or what it was the problem also, but they just didn't like me. Most of the time I had problems. So one of those days, again we went to Miami and we thought everything was cool and no problem, like, because if you live long enough in Jamaica, no problem is the thing, right? So we went to the airport, reached there, line up in a long line. Took us forever until finally our turn came. The guy, he looked at our passports and he looked at the immigration card what you need to fill out. People who travel will know that. And he just gave us the looks like, and all of a sudden the red light went on. People, I couldn't believe also a red light. There's a green light and there's a red light also. So red light is never good, right?
What do you mean, what kind of red light? You have to
was
walk through one red light or what?
I don't know, it was danger, I guess.
So when you
Oh,
walk
please, somebody come, because somebody then come, like 2 people come, 2 officers to carry me and my friend to an extra room.
I want to
Oh my God. This was so awful because I didn't know what the hell I was doing wrong. Because you try to do everything right, you fly out every 3 months, like, which costs you a bag of money. And you know, and then something like this happens. I didn't have a clue what it was all about, seriously.
I think you're carrying drugs.
I guess that's what they thought. So anyway, they put us in this room together with a lot of other people also from all over the world, with a lot of luggage in there, and it was like really hot. I remember that also, because when you're nervous also, you know, you're extra hot, like, right? and it was just awful. I never forget that, because you just don't know what you did wrong.
But you never do nothing wrong, so you're afraid.
Yeah, well, you don't know what they find. Maybe I did do wrong. I don't know what I did wrong. So anyway, we waited at least for 2 hours. I don't know, it was very long. And you know, when you wait and you're nervous also, you seem longer than usual. So after a while, 2 officers came. They led us in our next room. It's more privacy, like, you know, not the amount of people who were in that room where we were before. And she started asking us questions. Like, I remember one question was really funny and really weird also. What does your husband think, you being so far away and traveling from Jamaica to Miami, and so doesn't he miss you and stuff like that? What the hell, that are his business, people?
So yeah, that's one question that they ask in a court of Jamaica too, remember?
Yeah.
Everybody want to know that.
Yeah, God knows why. I don't know.
I don't think people can.
So of course, then he looked at our passports, like, and so on. As you know, for my other videos, I travel to Miami quite often because number one, it was one of the cheaper things to do because New York and other countries are much more expensive. So of course, we flew to Miami a lot, right? And even from Germany, we flew over Miami. So
Come
we
take
tried
a
to
bite.
come cook.
Should not even have
Oh my God, that's nice.
Nice and soft.
So we tried to explain to him how comes we do that so often, and we just told him what I just told you, like, you know, and he was like really well serious looking, you know, one of those mean faced
Nah bite, guys. Something
and I was like,
here.
my heartbeat was like, boom, 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 boom. You know, I felt my heartbeat in my little toe. I was so nervous and really afraid. I didn't even know what the hell I was afraid of. So then he said also he gonna strip search us. And not entire naked. Yeah, they searched us. They searched us. They really, I mean literally, and go everywhere between your legs and God knows where they went.
So strip search means you strip off afterwards?
No, we didn't have to take off all the clothes also, but I don't know if you call that strip search. I don't know. But I got searched a lot of times like that. Yeah. So anyway, and he also asked, well, how come you fly so often to Jamaica, Miami, and so that is the route where the drugs go, you know, from Jamaica, coming from Colombia, eventually going to Jamaica, and then you further them down to Miami and America and so on. So I mean, big coward me, number one, I would never do that. Number two, why the hell I would carry drugs like I told you before in some other videos, and I would never do that.
Yeah.
So I know I was not guilty, but I was so afraid. So after he checked on our passport, and he checked all of our luggage. I only had a carry-on like because you don't stay long, you don't need a big suitcase, obviously. But he searched every inch of it. I guess he was very disappointed when he didn't find one thing. So of course they had to let us go. And we went to the immigrations, and I mean, I'm still sweating even thinking about that, really. It was awful. I mean, if anybody out there ever was in that kind of situation also, it's not funny.
Yeah, it's scary.
Because they have the power and you are just this little tiny something and you shrink even more.
It's also scary when you're in our foreign country and you understand the language. One time we had a stopover in Dumrep. They were very serious with us and I didn't even understand what they were saying. So okay, let me
yeah, because it's really scary. And you always feel like even if you haven't done anything wrong, you always feel like, well, who knows what they could find, right?
Yeah, like me did I think.
And people get framed on occasion, and sometimes people put things in your suitcase. That's one other thing too. So that's how come nowadays, if it's even nowadays, because since Corona I haven't been anywhere, like I guess most of you people out there. But they ask you, did you pack your suitcase yourself and so, no? But I was sure I did pack my little bag myself, so there was no problem. So anyway, so after everything, and we got through finally, we went outside to Miami airport, and people who ever been to Miami, they know it's a very large airport. To me it seemed like forever long, and by then we didn't know you can take a shuttle bus. I think it's $1 if it's like that, and you just go to downtown Miami, and there we checked in our hotel. And we just went out later on and had a couple of beers and just tried to overcome that entire situation because it was just so
But Mama, imagine you just like come to Miami and say that means you have to go through that again when you go back home to Jamaica.
Oh.
You didn't think like that, oh God, you have to go back.
Nah. So a friend of ours told us, I thought it was a good idea. So he said, why don't you get a visa in Miami and you can stay 6 months in Jamaica instead of 3.
Oh.
Yeah, so we thought that would be a great idea, even though of course you have to pay for the visa. I don't remember how much I paid, but it was more than $100, a lot more. So next day we went to that place, and funny how it for a change was a nice person. It was a lovely lady there. She was so friendly and kind and charming, and what a big change that was, really. We got our 6 months visa, we paid for it. We also told her what happened to us over the last couple of months and our experiences like, and she couldn't believe. She couldn't believe that, because she is Jamaican, you have to remember that. She couldn't believe that her own people also treat tourists that bad and give them such a hard time. So she said, in case you have any trouble with the immigration when you're going back to Jamaica, here's my card. Make sure you call me or let them call me, because you got a 6 months visa and you're supposed to can stay 6 months. So we were over the moon, and I thought, yes, we finally get it, like, you know, and we had a nice day, and are we just happy?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you never go like that?
Not at all.
Okay, continue.
So we went again to the airport without the red light, this time in Miami. Went back to Jamaica, of course, on Air Jamaica. Unfortunately, that airplane doesn't exist anymore. I mean, that airline. It's so sad, because Air Jamaica was the best plane to ever fly in. Really. And we reached Jamaica quite late in the evening. I remember it was dark. Many other planes came in as well. Sorry. And so we waited in line. I think it was like 4 or so different lines. And we just waited until our turn came. We had this guy. Sometimes you try to look which person looked more nicer than the other, like or so, but this time we thought, we just take that one here. And when our turn came, we gave him a passport. We gave him our visas. Happy to have them. And guess what he said? You're not going to enter the island, also I don't make you enter the island, also you can't come to Jamaica, none at all. So he told us to just sit down in some dark corner over there and wait. No, really.
So why instead of?
How would I know? You just didn't make us enter the island. He told us to wait. So there were a lot of people, a lot of planes coming in, also we had to wait until every single plane was through. No, seriously. Okay. And I was there. I mean, you sit there the entire time, you think, what the hell is wrong now? What's wrong with that guy? Seriously, I got a visa, I paid for it, I'm entitled to stay 6 months, and he has a problem with that? Seriously? So
a red light again.
No, yeah, in a sense, yeah, you can say it's a red light again.
Mommy, you mustn't look like a prisoner or something.
I don't know what happened to me. Maybe I'm a big nose or so.
You always say look
innocent.
innocent.
Look so innocent.
Maybe that's why they love you.
Yeah, my friend was with me too. So, after we waited until everybody went through and the place got empty, and so finally he decided, or maybe he remembered there was somebody else waiting. So he did like, so come here. And guess what he said? Him say, by the grace of God, I make you come to Jamaica today. I let you enter. By the grace of God. Would you believe that?
So why are you saying you know because
no. And I give no reason why. So we didn't get our 6 months. We didn't even get the 3 months we are entitled to anyway. Guess how much he gave us?
2 weeks.
4.
So why?
I don't know, he never gave us a reason or anything.
Then
I remember he said, by the grace of God, I make you enter Jamaica today.
I must say his spirit never take you.
I am facing him bad mind.
You know when Jamaicans say their spirit don't take you.
I don't give a for that. I look for me also. Me look like somebody you have to treat like that. Seriously?
No. So what happened after that?
Well, after that also we of course were oh, by the way, I totally forgot also because I told him to call that number there, and that lady in Miami, she said if we have any trouble here also we're supposed to call her or he calls her. You know what you say? Doesn't interest him.
I I don't give a damn.
So a couple of days later, we saw our friend in Jamaica. He owns a couple, or he did own because he died. Meanwhile, unfortunately, a very nice guy. And in those days, he owned a couple of photo shops. Photoshop, you call them? They take pictures and things and...
Photo studio?
Photo studio, exactly. So, and we saw him. Anyway, we always checked him, and so because he was just a very nice and friendly people and full of knowledge and advice and tips and things for some newbies like we. So we told him his story and he couldn't believe. Remember, he was the one who told us to get a visa. And when we told him what happened here in Jamaica, never mind Miami also, but this was Jamaica, right? And we had a visa, we did do everything right, we paid for it, we entitled for 6 months. And he said that's impossible, that can't be. I met him a few days after that again. And I mean, I could never check it, and I don't know who did work in those days at the immigration office at the airport in Montego Bay also, but I was told by this guy who was a member from Canal Club and many other clubs in Jamaica, he was well off, and he said they changed the entire staff.
At airport?
Because I was totally out of order.
So because of him they changed the staff, I mean?
Because of behavior. If it's true, I mean, I never get to check it, obviously. But he made it public. Because Jamaica want tourists to come. They welcome all the tourists also, because tourists bring money in the country also. I work hard in Germany also to spend in Jamaica and buy my stuff there in Jamaica like also. So it's like I spend money there. So I'm not supposed to be treated like that. At least that's my opinion. I don't know what you guys think about that, but that's what I think. And I thought that was totally out of order.
We want tourists them to feel at home in Jamaica. And then come back.
And don't get that treatment like that. And you do everything right and you pay a lot of money. Thank you. Visa and then something like that happened.
That's weird.
And what you go through, I mean, remember my little heart here. I know it's awful.
But you know, like immigration, I see them in every country. Like people get treated bad if they try to come to Germany or America. So
I know. Many Jamaicans have a hard time to go in anywhere. I understand that. But many Jamaicans also believe that foreigners have it so easy. Believe you me, I did not. I never had it easy. Right? So I have many more experiences like that. I could write a book just about immigration. Trust me. So of course, as you can imagine, 4 weeks passed quickly. And money run out because you have to get another ticket, and it's really difficult. So we had to fly back to Germany.
So you have to really left after 4 weeks?
Yeah.
They couldn't change it. I think you said they make it public or something.
Didn't bother try. Didn't even bother try. I was so fed up.
So you pay for the ticket, for the visa, and then send it back still after 4 weeks.
The amount of money I spent in all those years just by coming and going and hotels and God knows what else also was ridiculous. I could have 10 houses by now.
Okay, so you go back home after 4 weeks and then?
So again we went back to Miami together with my boyfriend and my friend I went together with to Jamaica, what I told you about already. And this time with no trouble at the airport. Yay! But the only thing I have to say, I don't know if I ever told you that also, but I was pregnant. Yeah, I was pregnant. And I told my boyfriend also I'm really afraid to fly because they obviously in the first 3 months you're not supposed to fly, I believe, right? So I was pretty nervous. Even though to Miami is a really short flight, it's like 45 minutes. Once you're up, you already start going down. And my boyfriend always said, don't worry, everything will be okay. So halfway in the flight also I felt this pain, my belly button also, and I just didn't know something wrong, and you just feel that. So I went to the bathroom and I started bleeding. So I was devastated. So
we never ready to come yet, guys, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with you.
You're too soon, we never want to come eat that the juggler then. They are the 2 wild
yes, you miss.
Survivor the 2 wild, we're ready.
Man,
Wait till a second, don't look in a life.
Right. Very funny. So people, so we went to the airport. We went through the airport. We went outside. We were supposed to be picked up by a guy. And he actually showed up. Clap him. And it was a nice car, a really big, very expensive car also, but I'm not really the car type of person, so I don't care what you drive also, as long as he drives, right? We were supposed to stay with this guy and his wife for like I don't remember, it was 2 or 3 nights. And so he drove outside of Miami, so we passed downtown, went outside a little bit, don't remember how long it took the drive, but it was really weird because first he was so friendly and so nice and he made a couple of jokes, and my friend, he was sitting in the front of the car and me and my other friend were sitting in the back of the car. So first it was a little bit of small talk, just normal talking, how was the flight and stuff like that. Can't eat.
Should not eat, guys. I have to take care of me. Star here.
Yeah, until things got really serious. He said, so, I want my money. I want my money. You owe me money. I want my money. If I don't get back my money, I kill you.
Kill who? You?
My boyfriend.
Oh, so he might do their business there.
I don't know what the hell him did do. So it just continued like that. He used a couple of Jamaican bad words like us, and he really got loud and well serious like, until he must have remember we there in a back I see. So he turned around.
Oh God.
You didn't understand anything, don't you? And I was like, I mean, by then I didn't know some part, but definitely also, and you definitely understand that part. God no.
You know the bad with them, but we always say she like the bad with them.
Definitely.
But you didn't understand the drug part too?
Yeah.
But you just
But he wasn't really talking about drugs, but by the hell, I want my money, and so, and then was about some girl and thing like, and something must have gone wrong, and I don't know. So I was like looking at Annette, we were even holding hands. I swear, remember that we did hold hands also. I don't know if you people out there still remember the show Miami Vice. Back in the days, it was a real big show. It was a series and it went on like once a week or so, and it was really something else. I felt like I was in that movie. It was a crime show, right? Remember?
Really, mommy?
Oh my God. I felt like I was in the wrong movie also, really. So we finally reached the house. And we met the wife from this guy, let's just call him Mr. D. And we met his wife. She was really sweet and nice and totally innocent, and she worked in a bank, and she told me once also, are you so lucky you're married to a German? Don't ever get involved with a Jamaican guy. She said she wished she would know a German. Yeah, any foreigners, but not a Jamaican. That's what she said. And she's Jamaican. She also said she'd never want to go back to Jamaica. Which I couldn't understand because I was so much in love with Jamaica. Yeah, because of a number of reasons also. You have a washing machine. I remember she said that. So you can, of course, buy a washing machine in Jamaica. So what have to do with the man? Yeah, because he wasn't so nice. She didn't tell me details also. I remember I only saw her for like 2 days.
But she just
half of the time she was working.
She judged all of them based on one.
Anyway, in the evening, I mean, number one, I have to really say also a lot of people came to the place. Also, mostly young guys. No, also, it was really weird. He had his sort of office like.
There's an office in that house.
It was a big house. It wasn't just any house. I mean,
Mommy coming to my office.
Yeah, we still even have an office too.
Hopefully.
So,
have a look at Carla with them.
You don't read. Except for school also. At university also she does read. Yeah.
Hey, me buy some book for read. What you mean? Don't expose me on the camera like that.
She has studied, so
yes.
No?
Enough reading, okay?
Alright, don't cut me now. So anyway, so all those weird people came in and out, and Annette and I were like watching things like, this is weird, this is so weird, also something really strange going on here. I mean, it was obvious, God, it was so obvious also.
So you see money and drugs?
No, I didn't see it also, but I know either they picked up their money there or they make some kind of deals or arrangements also, but hello, I'm not born yesterday, right? So in the evening he invited me, my friend, my boyfriend and his wife for dinner in some fancy, expensive, super nice restaurant like us. So everything was nice and smooth and we were in a good mood except for my boyfriend. He was sitting there like something died already.
In a trouble.
And of course, yeah, and of course he didn't tell me one word. He always was like that. He never would say one word also. Anything to trouble him. Also, yeah. You didn't see that. So, anyway, that's when first time I found out they have a doggy pan. I didn't, doggy pan or doggy pox, or what you name, like the leftover food where you couldn't finish eat, also you can carry it home. So that was a new experience. I didn't know it back then. Forgive me. But it was nice, so we could carry the food. We couldn't manage, and so we had that in the evening. So the next morning, my friend and I, we decided we wanted to go to the supermarket because I wanted to buy a pregnancy test. Because what happened to me in the airplane. And it was just a short distance to walk, seriously. I mean, there was a house, there was this little road, and there came this bigger highway, and on the other side there was a supermarket. And believe it or not, also we were stopped at least by 3 or 4 different people and cars. And where are you going? Why are you walking? And we were like, we just want to go over there.
You want to chat?
Nobody walks here, somebody even told us. So I guess even if they visit the neighbors or they just take a car then too, I don't know. I mean, no disrespect, but that was really funny.
No, maybe they just think we're not going to be here somewhere, town, whatnot.
But to walk a few steps can't hurt, right?
No.
So anyway, so we went to this huge, gigantic supermarket, and luckily in America, I think all supermarkets, or probably many, I don't know, they have this drugstore in there where you can buy a pregnancy test and all kind of other stuff. So I got myself a pregnancy test. We went back to the house. I did the test and the pee. It's I'm still pregnant.
You mean by still?
Yeah. So after that now, we thought let's just go because we have time until I believe it was the next day. So we took a bus going downtown Miami. So we asked my boyfriend if he want to come along. He said, me taking a bus? No, sir. So he stayed, but I guess he had other problems anyway. Funny how I never knew then also that was the last time I was seeing him for a very long time. Yeah. So we went downtown, did our thing, came back to the house and so, and he just was gone.
Just gone.
No,
So when
just gone, totally
so
disappeared. His
he never
things
said
gone.
goodbye.
No. So can you imagine?
Maybe they kidnap him.
Yeah, I thought all kind of things what he did to him, even killing him. I don't know what I thought also, but that was terrible. I didn't know one thing. So then we went to Germany, and in Germany I went to a doctor, you know, to check out the baby thing, and unfortunately and sadly so I wasn't pregnant anymore. The doctor told me pregnancy tests are not so much trustworthy, like, and sometimes they show you're still pregnant even if you're not. So I definitely did lose the baby. So that was a sad part.
So how old did you be back then?
About 27-ish.
27, but I think you did younger.
No, 89. I went to Jamaica. I'm born 1963. Shh, don't tell nobody.
You just said it.
I'm young.
Okay. Well, you're still older than me then. Okay.
So people, this was it for today. The next time it will be about the spirit world and my first visit to a real bush doctor. And that was a totally new thing to me. Believe you me, you need to watch that.
Yeah, she told me like most of those stuff came true in real life. So guys, make sure to come back next time. And if you're wondering how this lady even ended up in Jamaica and why she moved there, please click that link up there somewhere over there. We're gonna put up a card and you can click it and find out why she moved to Jamaica in the first place.
Right.
Yeah guys, thank you all for watching so much. I hope you enjoyed this version of a story time. Comment down.
Definitely, I enjoyed the food and thank you so much for cooking for me. She's a great cook.
Yeah guys.
I teach my daughters from early because I know why.
Yeah guys, so comment down below if you like this version of story time with the mukbang in there. If you like me in the videos of the story
Of
time.
course, man. I like you in the videos, yeah.
Or if you just want her to do them alone in the future, I have
Never say she just said that.
don't like me like that.
I know I like you.
You know they love your story time, so maybe I'm spoil the image, you know. I'm just joking guys. So just comment down below if it was okay with the two of us. And we'll see you next time. Peace!
Bye! You take care.
Take care guys.
Bye bye.
Yeah, your heart is a sun, and it shines as it opens.
Where your heart is the sun, and it shines as it opens.
Yeah, your heart is a sun,